So it's 9:21, sticking to the process and sticking to talking. So this is what I'm saying. When I talk about manifestation, and I tell you that I'm doing this from a different standpoint and that things are just changing for me. Opportunities are being put in front of me that have been around for a minute, but I didn't stumble across them until I started this process that I think I've explained to people, which is understanding that when you are working from a standpoint of working um, manifestation from a place of building your relationship with God, and I'm not talking about this from like a Christian standpoint. Oh yes, you'll notice that the background has changed. I'm in a different part of. I'm in a different place. We'll say that. And what happens is you come to a place where you start to realize that you are very abundant and very loved. Like extremely abundant and extremely loved. You're not left out. But the key is to understand that about yourself, to realize that I'm sorry, I had to lower down the chair. I'm a little tired tonight. I'm coming away from the norovirus. But realizing that you're abundant and you're extremely loved. And in that extreme of love is this place of understanding that, as Abraham would say, to understand that you're in the vortex, you're in it all the time. The problem is that you honestly believe you got to get into it. That's what the real problem is. I had tea tonight. It's a little weak. This is the second pouring over these herbs. I'm going to let it do its thing. That's the point. You think that you have to get into a place that you're already in. Hello, how are you? And you don't have to get into this place. You're already there. You're already in a place of grace. You're always in a place of abundance. And you're either going to get an abundance of what you think about, and it is either what you want or it isn't. But there isn't a whole lot more to do around abundance and manifestation other than realize that you are abundant and that you can manifest literally anything that you want. And I don't want to put it, oh boy, messages being held for review already. So anytime YouTube done flagged you, you getting on here saying something ignorant. I'm telling you, y'all get on here and get spicy and don't expect nobody to get spicy back. You need to cut it out. But let me get back to this manifestation thing and just living. You cannot live from a place where you only believe that things come from hard work. Because they don't. They just don't. That's not the only thing that they come from. They come from the very fact that you exist. And so that's why so much energy is being called very fast all over this planet, because most people don't realize that, and they're going out and working for what is naturally already theirs. It is not hard to get up in the morning and breathe. That's called living. Right? Hello, India. Hello, Shiraz. Hi. Hi, ma'am. He said hi, ma'am. Hello. Hello, young man. Hello. Hello to everyone. Hello to those who are in the U.S. Hello. So when you realize that you are already living in a state of grace, then life becomes easier. And you decide to notice it every single moment of your life. That's what is being held back from everybody all the time. We're always being held back in this place. Well, you have to go out. You have to do this. Because number one, we're taking human beings' point of view. Add water too. And human beings are doing the same thing we do. For everybody that's praying, for everybody that's meditating, for everybody that's getting down on the floor and dedicating themselves daily, for everyone that is trying to live their life in a very pious way, we'll say. Um, what are you doing that just because you believe in self-flagellation, or do you believe that you're blessed because you do so? And that is the case. That is truthfully the case. There is no process where in which God exists and we don't understand what blessings are. When you are living in a place that tells you that there are no blessings until you die, that is something you want to reevaluate. Period. Because all your blessings are here. It is what you attend to on a regular basis that is the fruit of your hands. That's what it is. You're not going to get something from your hands that you didn't put some work into. And that work is not always your hands, it's your brain, it's your mindset. And when you understand that you are extremely abundant, I'm telling you, there's just no way that you can get up in the morning and understand that God is ordering every step that you take and that you're remembering that process and there are no blessings. That makes literally no sense. It's like a plus minus all the time in a conversation. How are you? How are you? It's like a plus minus in a conversation. I said something and then said a word that canceled out everything I just said. Makes no sense. None whatsoever. It's important to recognize that these are not blessings. It's not like, oh, I stumbled and I finally, it was rained upon me. It's been there the whole time, but we are literally actively taught not to. I'm good, thank you. Wow. You got that through, huh? um, you can't live in a world where you believe in yourself and then blessings are not blessings, but the true pathway before you and belief is not there. It's there, but if you decide, oh, I'm working for these blessings, and you decide not to see what's right in front of you and look to the right and go, I gotta go work hard for it over here. Look to the left, I gotta go work hard for it over there. That's your problem. That has nothing to do with the actual reality of the situation, which is that at all times, when you attend to your situation, give attention to your situation, attention to what you are as a being on this planet, as an extension of God. You are supposed to always be in a very abundant place. And abundance is not just about money. The weirdness around money, man, I'm not saying we don't need it, but if people who work in hospitals understand exactly where I'm coming from. People who work in hospitals get that there are many people that come in there with lots of money and it does nothing for them. And that's not abundant. The U.S., thank you. Uh, hey, Ethan. We have to realize that you cannot continue to live in a world where you don't understand that you are an extremely abundant beings. And notice I said that with an S at the end, beings. But we're not taught that. We're taught to stay focused, blinders on, not understanding we're here to play with energy. We're here to enjoy this process of being able to say hello to each other from around the world. Think about that. When I was little, you could say hello to each other from around the world via a phone with a long cord on it, as long as you had the right telephone number. Ooh, people just get on here and act crazy. I don't know about that, Benjamin. That's up to you. It's your life. You do what you do. Um, excuse me. Excuse me, Lewis. Oh, you're here. I thought you were saying something different. So people get on here and kind of just troll at night. Like, yeah, we all do have our problems, literally, and that's not about abundance. People will be chasing around money, and there's major stuff going on, and then you got to pause for the cause and handle that. That's not an abundant life. I'm sorry that has happened to you, Lewis. I don't know about this grand wizard of the clan. Excuse me, Lewis. You see what I look like, okay? Like, what you doing? We are here to be abundant beings. There was a time when we couldn't fathom, I couldn't fathom sitting here talking live on a platform that over time pays people to share their thoughts. That was not an idea. I remember when the first computers were coming out, right? My family was one of the few to have them where I lived when I was younger because my dad worked in computers. I am here to tell you that abundance is very different than money. Money is a part of the abundance package, but it's not the only part of it. And like I said, those people who work in hospitals, who are nurses, who are people who just push people around the hospitals, they understand when they have run into a person who's extremely well off financially, but they stuck in the hospital because they see them all the time. Or they have a permanent bed in the hospital. Children that do. I was just, I've been in 2 hospitals in the past month. 2. Not for me, but I've been in there. And the first one said, is your family member going to be here through the holidays? And we were there at the beginning of December. I said, oh no, they're leaving like this week. They were like, oh, okay, that's good, that's good. And then I began to understand there's an entire community of people that literally live there. There are apartments in the building. Like it is a major process. Now, the abundance of that is that parents can come and stay in those apartments with their children, but their children are there because they need to actually be there. And I don't know what the decision is that gets things down to that point where a child is in a hospital more days of the year than they are at home. But that's, do you understand? Again, that's abundance. And we're here to play with energy. Understanding abundance means that we have to understand we are abundant creatures. And a lot of the times we are sucking ourselves dry thinking about money. I can do that. I'm telling you that right now. Honey, yes. And I will tell everybody, look into your astrology chart because you'll see why you do stuff like that. But you won't quite understand why you feel just as good on a day that you didn't have to bring any money out of your pocket. Everything was provided for you. You got to a destination that you were invited to 15 minutes late. It was the best day of your life. Everything just kept flowing to you. You kept meeting people. It was a very big day for you. Not that it was about a business decision. It was just about, I'm meeting some new friends because life is moving on and I need to meet new people. I need to, I'm an empty nester, or I'm at a different stage in my life now where we're not as, I would say, trying to is the best word I'm gonna use for it. Electrocute people with our personalities. People want friends now, especially as they get older. I'm a Gen X person, right? And so Gen X people tend to feel that they have to stay where they are, but we are also the burgeoning, the middle to the end of us are the burgeoning people that need to jump and do something totally different and take a chance and see that abundance is way beyond what you're toiling with at a job. The stress that someone is putting you through, or maybe not the stress of a person. It could just be that you are not fulfilled in your job and so you are stressed, right? I'm saying that I feel that abundance is a big, beautiful thing, and we sell ourselves short always asking about money. But the fact that there are so many different ways now to earn, so many different ways now to allow abundance to flow into your life, to say, I'm not going to actually work for someone anymore. I'm going to go do something different. I'm going to travel for a living and tell people about where I travel to. Travel influencers. I think that that is awesome. It's not something I aspire to do, but I think it's awesome. People who are cooking influencers, people who are food influencers, people who are writers, people who are banging out movies and putting them up here on YouTube, putting up weekly skits, that people really want to see. This is starting to happen. The creative force is starting to come forward and people want to see other people's creation. Again, is that about money? Or do people really have all this burgeoning from inside of themselves and it needs to get out into the world? Right? I'm from the US. So, therefore, it's important to note that while we look for, everybody wants a big payday, but do you want it at the expense of other things? And I would say most people don't want it at the expense of other things. Most people want the abundance that they feel comes with a big payday, and it doesn't necessarily. Money can be very empty. I'm saying that as a person who can ebb and flow with that stuff, okay? You know what I mean? Ebb and flow. Which is how money is anyway. I'm drinking tea. It says Bathing in Herbs and Dill on the Run, and one of the names is changing soon. But I've got my hibiscus, sarsaparilla. I've got star anise. I've got cerasee and soursop and a little cinnamon in here. We working it out tonight, people. How is everyone doing? I hope everybody is doing well. But when it comes to abundance and being able to understand, there are so many different modalities in the world that make it so that life is interesting. That make it so that right now an abundant thing for me to do would be able to pick up my family of 4, possibly 6, definitely 4, and fly to some other part of the world and go experience a different culture, because we would all love to do that just for 2 weeks. Not even that long. That's abundance to me. And I know you go, but it takes money to do that. Yes, but you could have money and be stuck where you're at. I have freedom because I decided I wanted it. And it was much more important to me than working for someone that was draining me. Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well tonight. Abundance is beautiful. Abundance is going and tasting that hallucinogenic honey in Nepal. I don't know if that's what it is, but is it there? Meditating in the Swiss Alps. Abundance is experiencing possibly Turkey, right? But we're living in such a very, we're clashing on so many levels right now on this planet. But I still believe that there are abundant pockets everywhere. Every single place. I would love to go to a market that has nothing but resin. Many different resins of incense. I have the fortune of being my partner, he collects incense. He's been collecting incense since way before we ever met. I mean, and he will pull out this bottle of stuff and just goes, smell this. I got this from somewhere. And you would never think he is like this, but this is who he is. And so thank you very much. Thank you, Shiva. You would never think that he was like that, but he really is. He's a person that is just like, I have to get more incense. And so when I went to gift him, I know to buy incense. I know to buy Palo Santo, Copal, and expose him to other resins that I'm aware of, right? But he's got some old stuff that comes from friends of his that come from different countries all over the continent of Africa that will maybe send him stuff, or bring it back when they're coming back from traveling. This is his thing. That's abundance. And that's different than money, because we can have money and be literally rolling around the tub in it and not have a lick of incense anywhere. That's different. And what I'm saying is, we all deserve an abundant life. Not that abundance only is incense, but I'm saying a very whole and cultured experience in life. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Cheyenne, thank you. Thank you. I am from the U.S. But, and I say all that with so much going on in this country right now. We are all quite concerned about what's getting ready to happen. I think everyone is, not just those who did not vote one way, but everyone's concerned. But at the same token, if we understood what we are, if we understood that as abundant beings, what we attend to, what we put our focus on is what is our experience, well, then life changes, right? And that message is not out there. It's out there when people hear law of attraction, but as soon as people hear law of attraction, they don't want to talk about it anymore. Oh, Steve, I don't know about them golden showers. Oh boy. So therefore, I'm getting married. Thank you. It's just extremely important that we understand that not only are we a global community, but we're a global community of so many miracles. Of so many miracles. There are a lot of travesties and horrendous and heinous things that happen all over this planet, but there are also a lot of miracles. And if we give our attention to those miracles, we will have a more abundant life. And that is really all I came here to say tonight. Because, as this is Bathing in Herbs and Dill on the Run, we believe in the apothecary of God's planet. This healing space, this place that we can go in and just pick an herb, pick an experience, pick an energy, pick a place to go and heal. And I wish for all peace, abundance, love, joy, health, and wealth. With that, I say good night to everyone. I hope you all have a very good evening. I'll be back. Peace.